I picture this. The lights dim, the roar of the crowd swells, and your favorite band, say Oasis, or maybe Coldplay, hits the stage for a sold-out show. That feeling. It's pure energy, right? It's what big cities promise. But what if, after that incredible high, just leaving the venue became its own kind of, well, frustrating encore? Today we're taking a deep dive into Toronto's brand new Rogers Stadium at Downsview Park. It's this massive 50,000-seat place built for huge events, but it's been generating a lot of buzz for reasons way beyond the music. A really fascinating look at that friction, between big plans and what actually happens on the ground. It's got lessons for, well, any city planning big projects.
Exactly. And our mission today is to cut through all that noise, literally and figuratively. We want to unpack the big logistical challenges, the community problems the stadium has faced. We're really zeroing in on the traffic jams and the noise issues that have popped up. And we'll look at it from all sides. The concertgoers totally fed up, the local residents seeing their quiet neighborhood change, city officials trying to find fixes, and even urban planning experts who can explain why these problems are so, well, difficult. And this all comes straight from recent reports, CBC News, CP24, those are our sources. Like you said, this isn't just about one stadium. It's kind of a window into how cities grow and what that means for quality of life, especially somewhere like Toronto.
Right. And we promise you this is the shortcut. We're pulling out the most important bits, the key insights from these reports. So you'll get the whole picture on this pretty complex local issue without getting totally bogged down in details, your express lane to understanding this urban puzzle. Okay, so let's kick things off with the initial excitement. I mean, a new venue in Toronto. That's always a huge deal. But for Rogers Stadium, that excitement, it turned into trouble pretty fast. The very first concert was the K-pop group Stray Kids. Should have been a massive celebration, right? But it quickly became a real headache. Fans were reporting exit times of up to 2 hours. Seriously, 2 hours. Imagine that. You could probably, re-listen to half the concert just sitting in your car. That amazing post-show feeling. Will be gone. Just replaced by frustration.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a one-off thing. The more recent Coldplay shows, they really blew these issues wide open, got national attention. And what's really telling, I think, is it wasn't just fans complaining online. Chris Martin, Coldplay's frontman, he actually called it a weird stadium in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's pretty blunt coming from someone who plays stadiums all over the world. So you had this artist's view, plus all the fan frustration, and boom, it instantly highlighted the core problems: location, how crowds move or don't move, and the impact on the community right next door. So yeah, the first takeaway, even with a fancy new venue and a huge band, location can just wreck the experience after the encore.
That location point is key, isn't it? Let's dig into that first major issue, the traffic and the crowd management. Just trying to picture it. Tens of thousands of people pouring out all at once. Cars trying to leave, maybe some still trying to get in for pickups. The complaints were immediate. Terrible crowd flow, those crazy long exit times we mentioned, and the big one. The stadium's basically dropped into a residential area, pretty far from any major subway line or illegal station. That context, its location, that's really crucial for understanding why it got so messy, right? It's not like leaving Scotiabank Arena downtown where people just scatter.
Exactly. And if you zoom out a bit, it really shines a light on a classic urban planning problem. Matty Simiatiki, he's a professor, geography and planning at U of T. He explains it really well. He talks about the peak load phenomenon. Think about a downtown arena, like you said. Show ends, people drift off, some walk, some grab transit, some hit a bar, the load spreads out. But at Downsview, Simiatiki points out, everyone is trying to get out of there, all at the same time. Bang! One huge bottleneck. The surrounding roads, the transit options, they just can't handle that sudden surge. So the insight here is really that the venue itself is only part of the equation. That invisible infrastructure around it, transit, roads, even just nearby places to go, is just as vital for it to work smoothly. Now, the city, through Councillor James Pasternak, they have put their hands up, basically. He admitted there was a lot of catching up to do after those first shows, and they have taken some steps. Like, they tried to stop traffic cutting through local streets, which was a big worry for residents. They've also been ticketing illegal parking more, and this is interesting, set up a dedicated lane just for Ubers, trying to manage that rideshare chaos.
Okay, so they're reacting.
Yeah.
But is it enough? Is it proactive? Well, the city says they're committed to ongoing improvements. It's not just a quick fix. They're working with Live Nation, the promoter, plus Toronto Police, the TTC for transit, Metrolinx too. It's a whole team effort, which makes sense, I guess. It's complicated. And apparently, after every single show, they do a full debrief. They sit down, figure out what worked, what didn't, and try to tweak things for the next one. So it suggests they know this isn't solved yet, that the solutions need to keep evolving. All right, let's pivot now to the other big complaint, Noise. This one's really personal for the people living nearby, isn't it? Imagine your quiet evening, or even your weekday afternoon, suddenly being drowned out by a stadium concert. There was this one resident, Timur Sharafnov, shared a story. He went to visit his parents during a Coldplay show on a weekday, and he said it was just uncomfortably loud, led to real frustration, worrying about, as he put it, the end of a quiet life in the neighborhood. Wow, that phrase really sticks with you, losing your peace at home.
It really does. And it helps us understand noise isn't just about numbers on a meter. Ingrid Bude, she founded No More Noise Toronto. She talked about residents sharing videos where she said, you can see the windows shake in that vibration. Shaking windows. That's not just annoying background noise. That's a physical impact on people's homes. It really brings up that question, doesn't it? What's the gap between being legal, according to a noise bylaw, and actually respecting residents' quality of life? They might not be the same thing. And to be fair, we should mention Live Nation's position on this. They've stated before that their events do comply with the city's noise bylaws, and they say sound was a key thing they considered when designing the stadium. So you have this disconnect. The venue operator believes they're following the rules, but residents are clearly experiencing major disruption. It kind of shows that maybe compliance is just the baseline, you know? Maybe true integration needs more than just meeting the minimum legal requirements.
That's a really interesting point. If Live Nation says they are compliant, where's the disconnect? Maybe the bylaws themselves aren't quite right for a venue this size in this spot, or maybe how they measure it. Anyway, Councillor Pasternak did say the city is working with Live Nation to tone it down, and they're planning a peer review of Live Nation's noise strategy. Getting some outside eyes on it sounds like a good step. Plus, they're looking into tech, apparently. Ways to maybe keep the sound inside the stadium better and make sure those bylaws are actually being met effectively. It kind of feels like an admission that whatever they were doing before wasn't quite cutting it for the neighbors. Okay, so let's bring this right up to the present. Literally this weekend, Oasis. 2 sold-out shows. Huge band, huge crowds expected. This feels like a massive test, doesn't it? A real chance to see if these recent tweaks to traffic and noise plans actually make a difference. The city's message: continuous improvement. They're definitely managing expectations, signaling this is still very much a work in progress.
Absolutely. And it doesn't stop after Oasis. Councillor Pasternak confirmed there's still, 7 shows left this summer. So the city, Live Nation, police, transit, they'll keep working on fixes, not just for those shows, but right through the off-season too. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, this ongoing effort, it's not just about Rogers Stadium. It really signals a broader understanding, I think, that sticking a massive venue into an existing neighborhood isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. It needs constant tweaking, constant learning, constant dialogue. You know, the key insight might be that these big projects aren't just built and finished. They're living things that have to keep adapting to their environment.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you, our listener? Well, this whole Rogers Stadium story gives us a really sharp look at the challenges you get when big entertainment meets an existing city neighborhood. It's this constant balancing act, isn't it? You've got the pull of huge international stars, the money they bring in, the excitement. That's one side. But on the other side, you've got people's everyday lives, their peace and quiet, the simple need to get home without a 2-hour delay, all happening under a bright public spotlight. This deep dive really shows that just planning to build it and they will come isn't enough. You also have to plan for how they'll leave and, crucially, how the venue will live alongside its neighbors. That second part seems like the tricky bit they're still figuring out.
It really is. And it leaves us with some big questions to think about, doesn't it? As our cities keep growing and people want more big concerts and events, how do we balance the buzz and the benefits with the actual quality of life for the people already living there? What kind of creative solutions, maybe things beyond just more traffic cones or slightly quieter speakers, are really needed to make this continuous improvement actually work? And, what lessons can other cities learn from Toronto's growing pains here? Could this lead to maybe totally new ways of designing and integrating these huge venues into our urban spaces?
Yeah, absolutely. Makes you wonder, right? Future stadiums with built-in teleportation, maybe less nosebleed. But seriously, those are great questions. We hope this deep dive gave you some food for thought. Think about your own experiences. Ever been stuck leaving a big event or lived near something really noisy? What stands out to you from Toronto's experience? We give you the shortcut, the essential info. Now the deeper thinking, well, that's up to you.